Memphis, Tennessee. It's the home of that's where I was born, a fourth generation Memphian. And I have fought for Memphis during the 47 years that I've been in elected office. This is by far the most difficult moment I've had as an elected official.
And that was the emotional announcement from Congressman Steve Cohen Friday as he told his constituents he won't be seeking re-election to the newly redrawn 9th District after almost 2 full decades representing Memphis on Capitol Hill. Thanks for joining us, everyone. For News Channel 3 at 3, I'm Alex Coleman. We're glad to be joined today by Memphis Congressman Steve Cohen himself. Congressman, welcome back to 3 at 3.
Always good to be with you.
Let's talk about Friday. That was an announcement that I know you did not want to make. What emotions were going through your mind?
Well, there were a lot of them. I don't know how to really sort them out, but I mean, there was the idea of leaving Congress, which I've been in for 20 years and worked for Memphis and gotten a lot of results. And I was planning to get more the next 2 years in the way of community projects and then standing up to Trump on judiciary. There were the constituents that have been marvelous. I've had the best constituency relationship of almost anybody in Congress. People in Memphis and other places didn't think there would be a Caucasian congressman elected from a majority-minority district, let alone win 9 re-elects without losing a precinct. My constituents have been phenomenal, and it's shown that race is not the predominant issue, even if you have a majority-minority district. They elect the person of their choice. And it was great. And I've had so many people come up to me who appreciate my work, and mostly African-American women, although there have been men too, and they just come up and hug me and tell me to keep going. And so I didn't want to disappoint them and not be there to fight for them. But these districts are not districts I think a Democrat can win. There's a chance Chaz Mulder can win up in 5. He's the mayor of Columbia, and he was coming up on Andy Oglesby, and I think he can win. He's a young guy, and he can do this type of race, and I'm going to help him. And I think London Lamar can win in 9. She jumped in, and she's a senator, legislator for about 10 years, a Delta, which is a big deal, being a Heavenly 7, and her whole Senate district is in this congressional district, so I think she can do the job too. What
about Justin J. Pearson? What about Devontae Hill? Names like that?
They've both been interns, as London was. London's more suited to be a legislator. Devontae is, and Justin have made their names as activists, and they're good at activism, but they have not shown any indication they can be good legislators.
Will you throw your support behind them?
Behind London? Yes.
No, behind Pearson.
I plan to support London Lamar. She's the best candidate. She's got the character. She's got the disposition and to be a good congressperson.
But not Pearson.
I don't think we'll see. I don't think he's going to win the primary. I think London Lamar is going to win.
Yeah. Let's move on to talk about something else. You said, I don't want to quit. I'm not a quitter. But these districts were drawn to beat me.
Well, they were drawn to beat me, and I guess theoretically any Democrat, but don't have any relationship with Donald Trump, never have. Bill Lee, neither. And the legislators drew I think the districts were already drawn. I think Brent Taylor had a lot to do with it, and I think they just rolled them out of a suitcase or a satchel and put them out there and voted them in 3 days. They weren't written for Justin. I mean, they don't like Justin either. They like Justin less than they like me, but that's like putting you on a scale of 9 or 10 on the favorable scale. Number 1 is the number 1. So that it was drawn for a Republican. It was drawn for a Republican to win. And that's why they put Williamson County split in 2 into both District 5 and 9. So they come from Memphis and they go around like this and they end up in Williamson County. Very deep Republican high voting districts.
So Congressman, what does that say about Memphis representation, especially in a predominantly African-American city?
It says that Nashville doesn't care about it. Nashville cares more about taking care of Donald Trump, giving him 1 more vote that he thinks will possibly could be impeached. And if he thinks he can be impeached, we should be impeached, but whether he'll would be convicted, especially after Callison got beat Cassidy got beat in Louisiana, it's unlikely they get the votes. I mean, Mitch McConnell wouldn't even vote for it. They were all afraid, and they're all still afraid. So it's bad for Tennessee. It's bad for Memphis. Memphis people will not have a congressman. I mean, I had a lady come to me, and it really was touching to me. She was Uber Eats. My car's been in the shop for a while, and I got a Piccadilly dinner come, and she brought it to me in the house, and I got it. And she said something to me, and I had to look down, and I said, did you just say something? And she said, yes, sir. It's an African-American woman, about 45, and I said, I'm not ready for you to retire.
What does that mean to you? What do those words mean to you today, this very second?
That's the rapport I've got with my district. And I did not want and do not want to let them down ever, but this was not the place to make a fight for them. I can't go at my age and with my leg, I can't go out in 15 new counties and go to different precincts and introduce myself and work. You got hard to do in a district like this. This is something for a young man or a young woman to do.
Yeah.
I can do Shelby County. I'm good here, but I can't do 15 other counties.
When it comes to what's going to be next for Shelby County, for the city of Memphis, for African American voters or voters in general, will this potentially galvanize the electorate? What are your hopes there?
Well,
at least on the Democratic side, obviously.
I hope every Democrat votes and with high turnout, and we need it not just in August, but August we've got primaries and both sides will be trying to get their vote out, but in November, that's when it counts who the winner is. Everybody's got to get out and vote. It's got to be record numbers. There's got to be massive registration drives. But
can that happen? Will it happen in Memphis, Tennessee? Because you and I have talked about this many times, spoken with other elected leaders, other folks on the sidelines saying, Memphis folks, Shelby Countyans, we just don't vote.
Well, they're going to have to vote. And there'll be efforts, I know, from different ministers who I've talked to get the congregations out to vote. This is a serious issue. Just like the lady that came to me with my Uber Eats, when I go to the grocery store, where I see constituents too,
right.
The last time I went, I thought, these folks aren't going to see a congressman shopping in the grocery store in Memphis again. There's not going to be a congressman around here. There's not going to be there's not going to be community offices, congressional offices, to deal with people's issues, Social Security, VA issues, Medicare, whatever. They're not going to be able to have any community outreach, and they're going to forget Memphis.
So if I mention the names Taylor, Ogles, Charlotte Bergman, to say the least, what does that say to you?
Elizabeth Taylor could win.
Elizabeth Taylor, the actor.
No, but it tells me, Taylor's going to run hard. He'll have a lot of money. He'll have his own money, and he'll have Trump and Marsha Blackburn and Haggerty behind him with big money. And I'm sure he's been plotting this for months and probably has lined up a lot of support all through those rural counties that border Mississippi and Alabama and go up to Williamson. He's probably got those people all lined up. I would not be surprised. And as far as Bergman, they've overlooked her. I mean, the whole Republican team is lined up with Brent Taylor. None of them are going to be for Charlotte Bergman, and I don't think she'll get much vote. She's going to be a distant loser, and she's always been that. And what was the third name you mentioned?
Ogles.
Andy Ogles, who is now theoretically would be the person I'd have to vote, not be voting for in November, because he's got Midtown, he's got downtown, he's got a goodly part of Memphis. He's a terrible congressman. He's extreme right wing. He comes out with all kind of conspiracy theories and promotes them. He's had bills to name the Dulles Airport in Memphis in DC for Donald Trump. He's had bills to put Donald Trump up on Mount Rushmore. He had a bill to have something named for Melania Trump. And I think he had something about, he might have had the Ark, the Trump, that too. He's so far,
Go ahead.
Donald Trump hadn't had a colonoscopy that's gone that far.
That says something. Congressman, let's take a short break just for a minute. Let's get the latest on the weather. Let's continue our conversation about what comes next and to also look at your legacy, what all you've brought to the table over the years.
Thank you.